Hey there, Cherie here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here to share with you all some of the gardening that I got done this week, some of the sewing that I got done this week. I actually take you on a little quick trip to a fabric store, a local fabric store. What else? Yeah, sewing, gardening, canning, all the things. So if you want to see a little peek into a week in my life, stay tuned. Okay, so first let's start with a couple of sewing updates. I will share with you all during one of the lives during my sewcation the patterns that I chose, but I did get my Fiber Mood magazine, the latest issue. I do the Fiber Mood subscription where I get the full magazine with all the patterns in the magazine, all the images, all the instructions, etc. And then I also do the PDF version, which gives me also, I get to choose 5 PDF patterns with every issue to download, purchase and download for free also. And so I like having the magazine because sometimes there are more than 5 things in the magazine that I really like. So that gives me the flexibility that if for some reason I want to go and make something that I didn't download, I can do that. And usually with my 5 free downloads, I'll pick my favorite 5. That subscription comes with some other perks I get. Very often I'll get like a 5 for $25 deal and things like that. But yeah, we'll flip through this together during sewcation. I narrowed my choices down to 7, and then I got to narrow down that 7 to 5, and then I'll make my selections. And I'll let you guys know what I choose. The next thing we're going to get into is an update on the dresses that I made for Project Dress a Girl, which is a challenge given to sewers on Instagram mainly, but also here on YouTube. And the challenge is presented to us by Mari of Mari Sews, MARISEWS, here on YouTube. And I've talked about that at the beginning of the month, this project that she has initiated. This is year 2. This is the first year that I'm joining in. I shared a sneak peek of the first dress that I made. I shared with you guys the patterns that I was using and some of the fabrics that I was deciding between. And so now I'm going to show you the 5 dresses that I've completed so far. Before I show you those 5, actually I should show you, I have 4 more that are cut out and I hope to get made during sewcation with this pattern here. Pretty sure I shared this pattern before. This is Simplicity 8564. So I have 4 of these cut out. These will be the final ones. They should be really quick to put together. Yeah. And so I definitely want to make sure I get those sewn. They need to be uploaded on Instagram images by September 30th, and I need to pop them straight into the mail after that. So let me show you the 5 that I've already sewn up. I just need to sew the Project Dress a Girl tags on. The tags are here now. I'm just going to get them all sewn up, and then I'll add the tags because the tags are white, and I'm going to stitch them all down with white thread also. So yeah, let me show you these 5 dresses. Okay, so this first dress I shared with you all already in the video last week. I'm pretty sure maybe the week before. And this is using that gorgeous, gorgeous echinacea fabric that I carry in my shop, along with a hexie print from Tulip Pink that is sold out. And then I made the same dress just in a smaller size. You might see some loose strings because after I get the tags put in, I'll go through and I'll do all the little trimming, any loose ends, and get everything pressed nicely and packaged. But this is that same dress just in a smaller size. This is a size 4, and I use this gorgeous print from Anna Maria Horner. I showed that to you guys. And then these 2 dresses, along with 1 more, I'm going to enter these also on Instagram with Michelle's challenge, and I need to link to her channel in the description box. I forgot to do that the last time. I think it's called Michelle Sews Again, but she has an initiative on Instagram in support of Alzheimer's research, and it's called Sew Purple to End ALZ. and she has shared her personal story of how Alzheimer's disease has affected her family. There are other YouTubers that are sharing their stories. They're really, really touching stories. And yeah, so I knew this year I wanted to go ahead and join in her and support her on her efforts there. And so I did choose some fabrics for Project Dress a Girl that were purple so that I can include those dresses for both entries on Instagram and tag both and show support for both of these sewing challenges. So this one will fit that one with this maroony purple along with this purple echinacea fabric. And then I have another purple dress here that I made. Oh, and let me show you the pattern. Let me show you the pattern that I used for those first two dresses is Simplicity 2241. This comes in a large size range. So I think the first one that I made was a bigger size that was like a size 12. And then the second one that I made was a size 6. Okay, the next dress I'll share is another one that will be entered into both Project Dress a Girl as well as the Sew Purple for ALZ. And I feel like this fabric keeps showing up very pink, but it is in fact purple. It's just the lighting on the camera. It just picks up. There is some light pink in it, but the background is purple. And so it's a really pretty print. Just a pull over the head dress. I put ties in it so they can adjust the waist a little bit. Cinch it in at the waist, a nice hem. With this one, I decided the pattern didn't have pockets, so I just self-drafted some little inseam pockets so they can have their pockets, because that was one of the requests for Project Dress a Girl, is that every dress have a pocket on there. So she has pockets on both sides, and then it just has an elastic pull over the head, elastic at the sleeves for some comfort and adjustability. And this one is a size 8 from the pattern. Super, super cute, very full skirt, and I think going to be very comfortable to wear. And I made a second one with a green fabric that it's like an aqua kind of fabric that also has some purple with orange and other pretty colors. Same size, same style, the tie at the back, and just drafted again the little inset pockets. And so I'm going to get these, once I get the tags sewn on and get them all finished up and ironed, I'm going to take pictures for Instagram, and I'll probably put them on my mannequins so that you can really see, you know, how they look a little bit better than just me holding them up. And for those two dresses, I used this pattern here. This is Simplicity 2377, and I made view B, pretty sure. No, this is view A. Maybe view A. So there's that. And then dress number 5 is this darling, darling dress. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I love this fabric so much. It's just stunning colors. Add a little ruffle at the hem. I always like to double line my ruffles. And then I used the pattern, you know, straightforward as it is. I just created the ruffle. I wanted to add a ruffle onto this one. And then same thing, I added the, I just drafted some little pockets and added those in on the side. And so this one is a size 4. And I used this pattern here. This is Simplicity 15. This is Simplicity 1451. And basically I made view A, but then I just added on a ruffle to the skirt. So yeah, really, really cute, I think. And again, just pull over the head, sleeveless. And just, I mean, look at that fabric. So when I take the pictures for Instagram on the mannequins, I will share them also on my community tab. So you can see them a little bit better, but just wanted to give you a quick update on the 5 dresses that I have done so far. And hopefully at the end of Sewcation, I will have a total of 9 dresses that I'm shipping off tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Okay, now we will transition. Let's transition to some gardening and food preservation, and then we'll come back at the end to do a final look at fabric. I took you guys shopping with me, and so you can see a little bit of the store, and mainly you can see what I got. All right, so food. This is like that time of year where the bulk of the food is coming in, like all the crops that I planted in the spring that grew over the summer, that basically have over 100 days of grow time, which is almost my full grow season. So we're talking the tomatoes and peppers and all those kinds of things, the different squashes, especially the winter squashes, beans, so many different varieties of food are maturing right now in the garden. I'm still getting cucumbers. I'm still getting, you know, all my different greens and stuff like that, which I get daily. And so now I'm mixing in harvesting like the herbs and things like that. And even we started harvesting off the celery. I'm growing 4 varieties of celery, and they're all growing incredibly well, all from seed. I'm going to share that with you guys in next week's video. But anyway, it's finally big enough where, well, I could have been harvesting before, but I wanted to get it really good and big and established. And so anyway, yeah, it's just a very exciting time in the garden. I shared some updates on the community tab, but I'm inserting pictures now. I can't remember if I recorded video. We'll see how it goes in the editing stage. But anyway, in addition to my own food, I'm also preserving food that I don't grow a lot of, and just I need more than I can grow to put up for the year. And so I was actually out, and that's usually like fruit. You know, I have fruit trees that I've planted on my property, but none of the oldest ones are 2 years old because that's when we planted them. We have some first year fruit trees this year, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to harvest those fruit off of those trees. But in the meantime, I still love to make all my jams and my pie fillings and things like that. And so I use my local supermarkets typically for getting them when they're in season, going to places like Costco, getting them in bulk. Well, this year I decided for the first time, I wanted to last year, but of course with things were going on, the schedule was a little bit crazy. But when I was out, actually, when I went to the fabric store, I wasn't far from this farmer's market, this big farmer's market. And so I said, you know what, let me just swing by here. There was 30 minutes left for it to be open. And so I swung by, didn't find any fruit, but I found a lot of vegetables. And so I ended up actually grabbing, because the prices were amazing. And I had mentioned to you guys that most of the tomatoes that I'm growing like fresh eating and cherry tomatoes. And I did a lot of canning with some that I grew last year. I still have actually tomato soup. I have some soups. I don't have any tomato sauce left, but I have some soups that I made where I made the tomato base myself with my homegrown tomatoes. But I grow a lot of like slicing tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. I have 2 varieties of paste tomatoes growing out there right now. They're still growing. They are just starting to ripen. They really need a long time to grow and ripen. And so I knew that I needed to make more pasta sauce so that I don't have to buy as much, because in the wintertime we use a lot of marinara sauces. And so this farmer's market, I found an organic farmer that was selling bushels of tomatoes for $20. It was absolutely incredible. So I got 1 bushel of Roma tomatoes, and I got 1 bushel of saucing tomatoes, not Roma, but they're also, I don't know if they knew the variety. They confirmed with me that they are organic. They're not certified organic, but they grow organically, and that they only use open pollinated tomato varieties because they also grow their food and save their seeds and reuse them. So that was kind of cool. And so I got 2 bushels of tomatoes. They had a bushel of sweet peppers that were already ripened and ripening for $20. I snagged that. I'm not even growing that many large tomatoes. I'm not even growing that many large varieties of peppers this year in my garden. I think I have like 2 or 3 planted because I don't get that many. And peppers are something that we really consume a lot of, especially in the winter. And so I'm growing a lot of varieties of smaller ones that produce a lot of fruit, and that will be something that I will continue to grow actually through the winter indoors so that I can have some fresh. But I already knew that I needed to buy peppers, and I was planning on just going and getting, you know, like a case of bell peppers from Costco. I could not believe the score. And I got all kinds of stuff. You can see on the table, I got a bushel of yellow wax beans, which I'm growing yellow wax beans. But my plant will never produce a bushel, you know, I'm not growing them in the ground. I grow an assortment of beans, but all in individual grow bags. And so I snagged that up because I had planned on buying a bunch of bags of green beans at the store to pressure can like I did last year. Because again, most of the beans that I'm growing, I'm either growing them for dried beans or I am freezing and freeze drying my homegrown ones. I prefer them fresh eating throughout the summer, obviously, and then freezing them or freeze drying them. And so that's what I'm doing with my own produce to preserve it, my own homegrown produce. So I was so excited to find this farmer's market. So let me just show you a couple of the things that I got done. So I did take a lot of the Roma tomatoes from the bushel. I weighed them. That bushel that I paid $20 for was 28 pounds of organic Roma tomatoes. I couldn't even believe it. When I buy Roma tomatoes at Whole Foods, I pay $4.99 a pound. I will be going back there. Actually, I want to go next week and just see what else they have and just finish up canning with them instead of going to the supermarket. But I'll just show you really quickly. If you can see that, if you can focus. But I did a batch of freeze-dried Roma tomatoes. These are like, I won't eat it here. They're crunchy, sweet, delicious, like so incredible. And for someone like me who, you know, I try not to eat too much fruit because I love fruit, but you get a lot of sugar with fruit. I really have been trying to substitute fruit snacking with vegetable snacking. And so having all these freeze-dried vegetables have been wonderful for me. That they concentrate the sugars when it freeze dries, and so I get that sweetness, but it's not as concentrated as sugar content like, you know, with fruit. And so it's been really good in that regard. And these are things that, you know, I will snack on. I just have them in these Ziploc bags for now. My next batch of freeze-dried food that I'll be doing, I'll be getting those all into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and putting them away for longer term storage. But all this first round I have in Ziploc bags for now because I will be grinding these up into powders that will stay upstairs in my working pantry, and I can use these just to add to fortify soups with, to make soups, to make meals, to make stews, to add to smoothies and things like that. And so yeah, I did a lot of freeze drying with the things from the market, including, I don't have the peppers here. I did freeze dried peppers and I did freeze dried tomatoes. And then I also have already made, it's actually in the fridge because I made it last night and I'll be canning it tonight. I roasted up the rest of the Roma tomatoes to make a sauce with some onions and some peppers. And I will be canning that up for my first batch of pasta sauces or marinara sauces. And then I pressure canned the entire bushel of green beans. And so I ended up getting 21 of these pints. And no, that's not true, because I did freeze. I kept one bag, 1 gallon size bag, I put into the freezer, and then all the rest of them I pressure canned, and I got 20. So I got 21 pints of the yellow wax green beans canned. And then the carrots I just bought organically at Trader Joe's. They're pretty inexpensive. You get like a 5-pound bag for $4. And so I did 21 jars so far of the carrots. And canned carrots, like store-bought, I can't eat them. I think they really don't taste that good. I don't like frozen carrots from the store. I really only like frozen and canned carrots when I buy it fresh and I freeze them or can them myself. They taste nothing like the things that you buy in the store. It's actually pretty remarkable, the taste difference. And so that's the only way we will ever eat non-fresh carrots, is if I have canned them or frozen them. It's remarkable, the difference. So I'm excited to finally be getting a lot of the vegetables canned up. I'll show you 2 here quickly. I did freeze dry a butternut squash from my garden, and then I also freeze dried one. This is called a rampicant squash. I'll try to insert a picture. I think I've shown it before. It looks like a trumpet. It's an Italian variety of squash. That's from my garden. And then I bought at Trader Joe's 3, well, I bought 4, but 3 fit on in the freeze dryer. I just peeled and chopped 3 acorn squash because they were like $1.29 per squash. And so I got that because I'm growing 2 different varieties of acorn squash, and I've harvested them, but I didn't grow just the regular plain old acorn squash. They're 2 different heirloom varieties, and I do like making acorn squash soup. I like butternut squash soup. So that's what these are going to be for. And then let me show you, as I've been going along, I've been saving all my seeds. So I got all these seeds from 3 acorn squash, which is pretty crazy. And I got all these seeds from the butternut squash. And then I probably worked my way through about 1/4 of the bushel of peppers. And I mean, I got so many of those pepper seeds. So I've been saving seeds for certain things as I go along. I also saved the seeds from this trumpetino squash. Got a lot of those. They're still drying. So that's exciting, you know, preserving my food, growing my food, preserving food, my homegrown food and store-bought food, and saving seeds. And then the final thing I'll share with you, which was really the highlight of my canning week, is I got made, you might be able to see better here. I got 18 half-pint jars of this new jam. It's a combination of black figs, organic figs, blueberries, organic blueberries, and a fruit called a plum-quat. So it's like a hybrid plum kind of thing, which is incredibly sweet and delicious. And so I just mixed those together and made a delicious low sugar jam. And I had some extra. So these weren't canned. These just are in the fridge and we're eating on these now. This was just the extra that didn't fit in the canner. So this is a full pint, and then this is the half pint. So I have 18 that are in my pantry shelf. So I have 18 that are in my pantry shelf of this size. And so that will last us a good bit. And let me show you, because I'm gonna be snacking out of this. I was about to have a snack before the video, but I said eat it after. But I've been making cornbread like daily. And I love my afternoon snack of cornbread with my homemade jam. So that's gonna be my snack. So I have my coffee here. Okay, so that's a quick update on some of the preservation. I shared with you at this point already what I got at the farmer's market. Now let me share just some images or any kind of footage that I took from my own garden. I did a lot of harvesting. As I told you, the cucumbers are still coming in, tomatoes galore, so many different varieties. I grew over 50 varieties of heirloom and or open pollinated tomatoes in my garden this year. In addition, I think I grew 3 or 4 hybrid varieties this year. I grew some hybrid, no, just 2. I grew 2 varieties of hybrid cherry tomatoes, and because I put them out first and I put those together, you know, in pots right next to each other. And yeah, and so that's the same thing. I am saving seeds from a lot of these new varieties, because sometimes I pick up these rare seeds and I might only get like 5 or 10 in a pack. And so, so that I don't have to buy them again, I'm definitely saving seeds from as many fruit as I can. Don't save the seeds from all of them, because, you know, you eat some tomatoes, just I want to eat the whole tomato. But I am trying to make sure, especially for the really rare varieties, that I am pulling a few to save seeds from. Often when I go out there, there's 1 or 2 that the birds have pecked into or dropped off the plant, or it's split from the rain. And those are often the ones that I go ahead and save the seeds from. So lots of jars with seeds in them all over the kitchen right now. My kitchen looks like a supermarket right now with all the food and the cans and things like that. And so that first week in October, I will start to change over my pantry, pulling up things from the deep pantry up into the working pantry, and then getting a lot of this new stuff down there to keep the rotation going. I'll then also make my list of what I need to replenish so that I can get those things stocked up. I like to have everything here and on the shelves and set by mid-October, because we could get our first snow already in October. Last year it snowed the second week, early second week in October. Yeah, so it's just that time of year, right? I got to collect all the food, you know, some of the seeds. I grow almost everything in my garden from seed. And so some of these things I started from seed back in April. A lot of them, a lot of the tomatoes and peppers and things like that, I started in April. So it is a long wait to, and a long time to have to keep my plants strong and healthy and productive before the end of my season. And so for me, always, it's just, you always feel a little bit funny like sharing my garden harvest, because of course, you know, I'm no way like bragging that I grew all this food. I don't control that, right? I do my part. I sow the seeds. I do what I'm supposed to do to care for the plants. I feed my soil. You know, I make sure that I have an environment that welcomes all the pollinators and there's a nice ecosystem in my garden. But I don't control the weather. So many things that go into making sure that food grows and your plants don't die. You know, one bad windstorm could have snapped a lot of things and I could have lost a lot of things. And so I'm really, really grateful, and I share purely out of just the excitement and the gratitude that I have, that finally, after years, decades of wanting to grow my own food, I'm finally in a location and I finally have a garden. And even though the season is short, I'm finally in an area that is great agriculturally, at least in the summer. And so, yeah, it's just with joy that I share all these things. But I wanted to show you the farmer's market thing. I'm so excited that I finally went, and it brought me so much joy to support those farmers, because years when I couldn't grow my own food like that, you know, when I could only grow in little containers and a couple little things here and there, and some years when I couldn't grow anything at all, farmers markets, farmers are who I try to buy most of my food from through CSAs or going to farmers markets. I have a very deep appreciation for those who toil and labor to grow us nutritious food. And I got some stories from them. Maybe I'll share a little bit next video. But first of all, I couldn't believe how much food was at the farmer's market. I couldn't believe how much food each farmer had that they were loading back in their trucks that didn't sell. I told my husband, I'm like, I will only go to the supermarket for produce when the farmer's market is not, running, or they don't have exactly what I need. I will drive and support these farmers. They are at a point now where they are, I'll tell you quickly, one couple told me they're at a point now because of, I'm not sure exactly where they're located, but farming in open fields is very different than gardening and growing in a backyard garden the way I do. My garden, I have set up kind of a microclimate. My plants are really well protected from strong winds and even the first couple frosts. It's usually not the first frost that kill my garden. It's when it freezes that kills my garden. But when you're in a big open field, you can't stop that, right? And so they're already actually starting to lose a lot of their basil and other tender plants because it's getting so cold at night that they are starting to lose things. And they were so grateful that I bought food from them. And I'm sitting here like, I'm grateful for you for growing it and for presenting me with such high quality food at they were beyond affordable prices. If I calculate how much I would have spent to buy the same thing, even at a store like Trader Joe's, even at an Aldi, like I saved significantly. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about that. So I'm already looking forward to going back to the farmer's market, supplementing my garden. I'm really excited because now even some other things that I was going to can, that's all going to the freeze dry pile from my garden, and I will see what I can get for canning from the farmer's market. And I'll just continue doing this and popping down. I got potatoes. Well, you should have seen in the video, I got eggplant. I mean, that little quarter bushel of eggplant, it was $5. I mean, I would pay like $2.50 for a single eggplant at my local store, and I got 5 of them for $5. So I've already made some delicious sauces with some of those eggplants, and I'll be making more and getting those. I like to do freezer pep meals also, so I'll be using that in that way. But yeah, anyway, that's my quick update of gardening. Now let me get to, I'm going to take you guys to SR Harris. We're going to look around a little bit, and then I'm going to come back here and show you what I got. Okay, friends, so I'm taking you with me today to SR Harris Fabrics. I'm here just to look for ribbed knit for cuffing for some tops that I want to make. And I might check out their rim knit leather skins for some accessory projects. So I'll shoot a little bit of footage in here, and then when I get home, I'll show you what I picked up. Okay, so when you first walk in the door, you see all kinds of thread, including the serger cones. These are Gutermann serger cones, and they're $7. I'm not sure if there's an extra discount off of that price. They have signs up all over the place. Some things are an additional 25% off, some things are half off the price that you see, and then some things are just the price as the sticker states. I was looking for some trim for one of my capsule wardrobe projects. It's just a lot. It's a lot to look through, a lot of colors, a lot of textures. It's just a lot. I saw a lot of things that I liked, but as I said, I didn't want to just randomly buy a bunch of things without a project in mind. So yeah, I kind of stayed pretty focused on what I came there to get. I did like these faux suede fabrics. That's one thing I'm thinking about incorporating into my vintage capsule wardrobe is a faux suede jacket. So I might go back and look at those once I narrow that down. Buttons galore, trims galore, bias tape galore. They sell zippers by the yard, so you can just buy a long roll of zippering. And then there's just fabric everywhere. I mean, this is the knit fabric, like one of the 5 aisles, I think, of knit fabric. Every possible fiber content, every possible print, Liverpool knits, terry knits, and they're just kind of piled up like that, as you can see. I personally don't enjoy shopping like this because it's just a lot. It's just a lot to pull out and dig through and see. But yeah, when you're really on the hunt for things, it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun, I think, to go through and find some of these things. So yeah, just a lot of fabric, upholstery fabric as well. A lot of upholstery fabric, which is great for those kinds of projects. And here's that little corner with all the big drums of the leather scraps. I went there to get some remnant hides, like some larger hides, but I was excited that she pointed out this scrap bin. And then here are the cottons that, I mean, every possible color under the rainbow, every hue. This was just an incredible wall of beautiful colors. This is just a portion of it. I mean, it went up like 2 times that height. Those were still sealed up and hadn't even been opened yet. But I mean, you could find any tone, any shade that you were looking for here. Okay, friends, so let's start with the first round of goodies. So I should say there, I went to S.R. Harris. They have 2 locations here in Minneapolis. I've gone to one. I went to one like that first fall that I moved here. Found a lot of cool things. Found some knits, but mostly got some leather skins actually, which was kind of cool. I got a bunch of like notions and stuff like that. But I planned on coming back after I had gotten settled in, and you know what happened. And so I went back this trip really because I was looking for the ribbing, because I showed you guys a lot of the vintage t-shirts and like sweater twin sets that I want to make. I need that like typical sweater banding rib knit for the collars, for the necklines, for the wrists, for the waistbands. And I remembered when I was there that they had like a whole like section of that. And so that's what I went back for. I was looking for some colors, mainly red, and they were sold out of red this time. They did have gray, which I don't know why I didn't gray, because I did need gray, but I'll go back. But I ended up just getting these 2 different black ones. They're nothing special, but they're really nice, high quality, 100% cotton rib knits. And so I'll use these, like I said, for making these winter sweater knit sweaters and putting the bandings on for those vintage patterns. So yeah, got those 2. I got a little bit of this cording. I have some in a really large size and I have some in a small size, but I'm making some more fabric bowls, and I think I'll do that as a tutorial with you guys. Because I love making those. I have some that I made for my sewing room, but I actually want to make a couple for my kitchen to use as bread bowls. That's what I'm thinking. I might make some for my sewing room too, but like I said, I already have some. But that's what I got this for. It was super cheap. It was like 15 cents a yard. And so I will go back. They had all different sizes of that too. Like I said, I was trying not to like do like a big shop. I also didn't have a lot of time, but I was excited to see that. I saw a lot of stuff there that I want to go back and check out once I get some more sewing projects completed. Next, I'll share with you, I did get this trim specifically for a project for my vintage capsule collection. There's one thing that I want to make that I want to possibly play around with adding some trim. So I just got 3 yards of this, and I'm just going to play around with it, see if my vision for what I want to do works out. And then I didn't see this the first time, but the lady showed me, first time I went there, I didn't stay that long. To be honest, stores like that completely overwhelm me. I don't enjoy shopping in like warehouses like that. It's like, it can be like really overstimulating for somebody like me. I'm not like, I can't just like glance and like, I take everything in. And so, yeah, I try to avoid like those kind of situations. And so I've never even been in like half of the store. Even with the 2 trips that I've done now, I definitely didn't cover half the store. I mean, it's just a massive. And so anyway, they do sell really high quality zippers for just an amazing price. So these are just long with the metal zippers. They were like $3. Amazing. And so I got those for some projects that I have in mind. And then the lady showed me they have these huge drums, like 50-gallon drums. I think there were like 6 of them, 4 of them, filled with leather scraps that they sell by the pound. So I got some leather scraps to play with. And so I figured I could use these as straps on some bags that I want to make. I can make little wallets or card holders. So I just grabbed some colors that, you know, I know would work for me in fall. Maybe I'll try to make like a wallet, a little eyeglass case for my husband. I mean, this is big enough. I mean, I could make a whole little tote bag with this. This was a big one, but it was in the scrap. It was in the scrap bin. So I grabbed that. I played around with, I had like a little scrap leather kit that I think I bought on Amazon just to play around with last year. And I played around with that a little bit, but I still haven't cut into like the skins that I bought there the first time. And then I picked up 2 more skins. But that's one of the things I want to do over the winter as I start to make these little bit more, you know, detailed, less basic capsule wardrobes, is to incorporate also some accessories with them. And so I thought, you know, using some leather could be fun for that. So I got the scraps, and then I got these 2 full hides. This one just, you know, because I have that yellow that I showed you guys, that like marigold, goldenrod yellow knit fabric that I'm using in my style art capsule. And so they had this, which I thought was just so unusual. It's printed with this beautiful like rose floral. So I got that, and then I got this. This is so supple and just so, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. And it's just black. It's so nice. So yeah, that's one of the things I mentioned, that I'm going to be using one of these beginner sewing machines that I'm sharing with you guys for the giveaway. I wanted to have a sewing machine that I could play around with leathers and some other projects that I have in mind. And I don't want to use my, you know, my main sewing machine for, because I don't want to like mess up the timing or anything like that with that, because it is like an electric sewing machine with a, you know, computerized and all that. And I don't want to do anything that might require that to have to go get service or something. So I'm going to use a really basic sewing machine for these kinds of things, including these leather projects. So I was excited to add those to my collection, and I'm really looking forward to playing around with those. And then I have one more pile to show you. I couldn't resist, guys. I mean, for the price and the colors, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at these colors. Look at these colors. Y'all know. I mean, there was no way that I was going to be able to walk out of there without these. And I can see here like that, the camera is not giving the exact colors of some of them. Or maybe it is. I mean, look at those for fall. Come on. Now, a couple of them were in the bolt, so there was only like this piece was only 1.5 yards. I have one I think was 2 yards, but then the rest of them I got 4 yards. So 3 of them I got 4 yards, 2 of them I got 1.5 or 2 yards. So they will be blouses or shirt dresses or something along that vein with these. I am so excited about these colors. And I told you guys that especially for that vintage capsule wardrobe collection, I do want to have a lot of solids in that as well. And so I'm really going to be trying to see how I can incorporate some of these into that. But some of them will just be, I'm going to do a video and share with you all. I have a stack of woven shirt patterns that I want to sew up, because that's like a deficit in my handmade wardrobe. And so they're going to get used. They're going to get used. I am so excited. So yeah, I think that is it for today's video. At this point when the video is out, hopefully I have already scheduled the lives for next week's occasion, or maybe this week's occasion, depending on when I get this video up. And so yeah, definitely check the uploads, check the community tab, make sure you're coming back to the channel and looking for those live streams so you can hit the notification bell on each one individually, and then YouTube will send you a notification when that live stream is starting. But at least you can see the dates and the times that I've chosen for now to go live, and hopefully you can join me. I think the first occasion I may not do too much sewing because I still need to get through some giveaways and I still have some demoing to do. I'm not sure how it's going to be structured, but I'm definitely going to do some sewing beyond the first ones, because I got to get some sewing done. So it'll be pretty casual and laid back. I might have some music playing in the background. I'll be sewing some and chatting some and just spending some time with you guys. Maybe we'll pull some people up during the live stream to share what they're sewing. At minimum, you can just have us going in the background while you're in your sewing room getting something done. So I'm really looking forward to spending more time with you guys during Sewcation on the live stream. And then I still have a lot of videos that I need to finish editing and get uploaded. So this final week of National Sewing Month should be filled with a lot of fun content. I hope you will enjoy it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you either in the comment section or on the live stream, or both. Remember, this video you can use as an entry into being able to win one of the 4 sewing machines that the grand prize winner will get to choose from at the end of National Sewing Month. And so if you want to use this video as an entry, simply leave your comment. You can tell me about any fall sewing plans. You can tell me how your garden's growing. You can tell me about your Dress a Girl project, whatever you want. Just make sure your comment has Happy National Sewing Month in it somewhere. Don't hashtag it, because the I don't know if the comment picker will pick that comment up. So just spell out as separate words Happy National Sewing Month, so that you can get another entry. I'm getting really excited for the countdown. Those are other videos that should be rolling out at some point this week or next week, are the videos to show you more details about all 4 sewing machine options. So look out for those as well. Yeah, so look out for all that content coming up, and definitely look out for the live streams, and I'll see you guys back here on the channel again very soon. Have a great day. Okay friends, so I'm back home. I got some great things from SR Harris. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But on my way home, I decided to venture out and check out the farmer's market. And I saw that it was going to be closing within the hour, so I just went straight there. It was my first time going to any farmer's market since I've lived here. And yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Now, I should say, I went there with the goal of getting fruit because I have some more jams I want to make. And I don't know if the people who typically sell a lot of fruit were gone already, because like I said, I was there like in the last half hour, or they just don't bring fruit, or you know, during the week, maybe it's bigger on the weekends. I don't know. So I still have to hunt for fruit. The only thing I found were apples. And oddly enough, the apples were the most expensive thing. So it was $5 for this little basket of apples. But I got, so like all these eggplant, $5. All the bitter gourd, $5. This was like a half bushel of heirloom tomato mix eating tomatoes. I got those to do sauce with. Those were, I think, $5 also. Got this, it's called a bitter gourd. Never had that before, so we'll try that. So I got bitter melon and bitter gourd. Got a little bag of potatoes, also $5. This entire pile of peppers, which I am going to weigh, was $20. And I've been buying a little bag at the grocery store to supplement. Well, I'm not growing a lot of big peppers in my garden because I haven't had a lot of success getting many varieties to ripen. I have some out there. I think I have 4 varieties of bell peppers. They're all still green. We'll see if they ripen to the color they're supposed to be. I have a purple one, a red one, a yellow one, and an orange one. We shall see. But all of this stuff here I got for canning because the produce that I'm growing in my garden, I decided I don't really want to pressure can. I'm gonna freeze dry and freeze that stuff just to maximize the flavor. It just tastes so good. I don't want to pressure can it and cook it forever. And the flavor's still good, but I mean, you know, it's not quite as nutritious. The nutritional profile does change quite a bit when you pressure can your food versus just freezing it and freeze drying it. So I mentioned that in another video. I'm using all my tomatoes either fresh, freeze dried, or frozen, and that I wanted to buy some tomatoes for my canning. So I got this bushel of red tomatoes. This is an Italian saucing tomato variety, the lady said, and that was $20. I'm gonna weigh that. It's unbelievable. Got this whole huge bag of yellow wax beans to pressure can those. My son loves my pressure canned green beans, and again, I want to just freeze my green beans that I'm growing. Went on and got some more banana peppers that I can use in some of these sauces that I'm making. They're like 3 times bigger than my banana peppers, sweet banana peppers. My sweet banana peppers are so good fresh. Again, I want to use them like that. Got a bunch of jalapenos for some relishes and stuff that I want to make. I have jalapenos out there growing. Mine are all still green. The purple variety actually is turning purple. But yeah, my eggplant, they're still babies. I don't know what I'm going to get outdoors before the season ends. I will be moving those grow bags into my greenhouse to continue to push those on, but I want to make some puttanesca sauce, some pressure canned. I made that last year. It was absolutely delicious. So I'm going to make more of that. So I got a green variety, the long green, and I got this purple Italian variety for pressure canning. And then I got another bushel of tomatoes, all Romas, for pasta sauce, also $20. And then I got this huge bushel. This is like twice as big as the lemongrass that I'm growing outdoors, which I grew from seed, but still, this was $3 for all of this lemongrass. So I'm gonna get that preserved because I do like lemongrass tea, but I also like using it in my curries and stir fries and stuff. So yeah, that was a really good, oh, and I got one beautiful bouquet of flowers for $5. Pretty colors. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking out that farmer's market again. I'm probably gonna cook these potatoes tonight. But yeah.